Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the FuReel Podcast. Welcome to Season 3. Season 3, that's what I mean.
That's right.
Season 3. We've wrapped up to 40 episodes as of today. Well, 41 today, but I have 40 in the
Awesome.
listening ranks.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It's very good.
It is good.
So here next to me is Sifu Gawain, master and founder of Ging Academy, also known as Mafaja.
Hello.
My name is Jhung and I'm a senior instructor at the Ging Academy. So here on the podcast, we talk about what we experienced whilst practicing and teaching Kung Fu and Tai Chi, and the 3 parts make us whole: mind, the body, the spirit. And whilst you're listening, if you have any questions or wonderings, you're welcome to send them through to our email address. That is FuReel@jingmo.com.au. That's FUREEL@GINGMO.com.au. And we'll be happy to answer those questions, talk about it on the podcast. And we thought, starting off with this episode, that we would kind of do like an update, what's going on for us in our lives. Please excuse the mechanics on the outside of this room.
The workman banging away.
But I guess if you're watching this episode, you'll see us at a different location to our Season 2 location. And I thought to do ask Dad and check in before this episode that we've seemed to change locations for every season so far. So I thought, how about now we just move to Season 3, because we're recording and filming professionally now, not just on the Zoom at this location. So if you're watching, this is where we are. This is where we are.
It's our studio.
It's our studio where we film our on-demand content for the Jing mowers and do some private lessons here and the podcast now. Anyway, so here we are. We've got this new device, if you can see in the bottom of the screen, guys. If for those who are listening, we have thank you to the sponsor of my dad for this Rodecaster Pro. It is an awesome machine. I highly recommend it if you guys are doing any podcasts or audio work. As you heard, we had the intro song playing at the start, and that was pre-recorded, literally seconds before this episode.
That's right.
Pre-recorded onto this device. We have our Hoya sound effect for the ending of the episode. Hoya! That was loud. Right
awesome.
There. We've got 4 mics that we can now interchange, whereas before we only had option of 2, and then we had to get other devices on hire for extra mics. So if you saw the panel episode that we did, we had 8 mics, 6 mics.
Well, we had eight. Yes, six additional mics.
6 additional mics, and we had to hire different gear for that.
Yeah.
So we had this.
Yeah.
Still had to hire stuff, but it would have been
more contained.
Yeah. We can Bluetooth any device. USB straight to my laptop now. I'm recording straight onto GarageBand.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool device.
It is. And actually, any of you guys can phone in.
Oh, yeah. So we can have, it's like a radio show.
Yeah.
You can phone in, and because it's connected to my phone, I can play the audio through the podcast, and we can speak through our microphones so that the caller can hear us back.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So it's cool stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
It makes our podcast that much better and easier as well.
Awesome, huh?
So, an update. Our Jingmo Academy and lives as of, what's today, 15th of June.
Yes.
We've done our first week back at face-to-face classes after 9 weeks of isolation.
And 9 weeks of just live Zoom classes.
Yes, 9 weeks of live Zoom classes, practicing in our own spaces. Fortunately, we had this studio as well during COVID, so we were still able to do some private lessons, come film here, but of course maintaining social distancing and sanitizing and cleaning, all that stuff as well.
Physical distancing.
So first week back at Academy, what was that like for you, Dad? First week back to face.
It was a relief. I think 9 weeks. I know, but no extent had we been in lockdown. Not like some countries, like Italy, for example. Ricardo's family were right in the heart of where the lockdown first started, and that would have been horrible. And I was hearing horror stories out of from Hong Kong So we had some Jingmoas in Tai Chi for Parkinson's class.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
remember? And they were
before
telling
the
us,
COVID,
yeah,
just
Terry,
before. Terry, Penny, and Simon.
Penny and Simon were telling us about their friends and family back in Hong Kong, how they were living in apartment blocks. That would have been horrible. It was like scary stuff, like literally getting food and groceries delivered to the lobby of an apartment building, and then the apartment management would collect your stuff and then take it to your front door, and then ring the doorbell and disappear, and then you open the door and there's your stuff on the ground, and you couldn't go out. And that was happening in Italy as well. Ricardo was really worried about his mum and family over there, how they're going to cope with everything. So it was really great for us here. But at the same token, I was just noticing in week 8 and week 9 in our Zoom classes, there was just starting to be petering off. There was a few people just disappearing each lesson and not re-engaging.
Well, I felt it too, not just the students. Like,
yeah, it was hard.
Personally, I felt that.
Yeah, it was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And I reckon 9 weeks is about it.
Yeah.
Like that's about as much as we all could have had in this social distancing and self-isolation. So coming back to face-to-face was such a relief, and we've been having great attendances face-to-face. I haven't heard one person complain about the fact that we haven't engaged with any contact work yet. It's just our leadership team decided that we'd spend the first week just reconnecting, and then next week we'll start the paired work, partnered work, striking pads, doing applications and usages and stuff like that. So there'll be a few things added as precautions to ensure that we don't add to the possibility of any contamination.
Well, just in general moving forward.
In general moving forward, yeah. Not just because of COVID, but I actually think it's really healthy practice. And since we've been in COVID, I kind of been reflecting that we've been so lucky that I think we as in Jingmo Academy have become somewhat complacent around hygiene and sharing equipment, changing partners, cleaning, washing our hands, not coming to class when we're not feeling 100%, but still coming even though we're not feeling 100%. And I think there's a great lesson out of all of this, because just over the now we're kind of into the winter season, and already I'm noticing there's less of the winter discomforts around. Less use of tissues, less medications, less everything. I think it's a great thing. Schools are much more vigilant around cleaning as well.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very good.
That's good. Yeah, I've noticed this last week. It's quite exciting seeing everyone again, especially with the kids. When I teach a kids class over Zoom, it was good. And like you said, like the last few weeks, the kids, of course, with the support of their parents, weren't coming to the week 8, week 9 sort of thing, which is quite understandable and normal. But I think they were, out of everyone, itching more to get back to face-to-face, because they don't have that like resilience or capacity as much as we do with getting on with the isolations and stuff like that, because most of them didn't go to school either.
That's right.
So they had...
Well, there was the end of term 1.
Yeah.
Then there was school holidays was extended by that week.
Yeah.
And then some schools didn't return immediately in term 2.
Yeah.
Isabella's school did. I don't know, did Lily's school?
Yes, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So some schools did and some schools didn't. Like government schools, I believe, maintained the online teaching.
Yeah.
And they only went to school if both parents were working. If there was a possibility as one parent at home, it was advised that the children should stay home. So there was a lot of being at home,
definitely.
which I think was great in the beginning. By about week 7, 8, 9, it was, particularly if you live in a small space like we do. We live in a small space. It's like cabin fever was setting in.
Yeah.
Isabella, she came to the end of her tether with not being in face-to-face class and doing 9 weeks of Zoom classes. And she said, that's it, I need to go back to face-to-face. And she's only like turning 10 and she worked it out by the last week.
Yep.
So I think that our health department and the government, whether that was just coincidental or there's data and evidence to show they made wise decisions around closing our borders and ensuring that everyone's well-being was first priority. And now with all of the financial assistance that we're receiving, some I like everything, there's no such thing as one fix fits all. For some people it doesn't work, for others it works. But all in all, I'm very grateful that we haven't had the same horror stories like that we've heard in other nations. Yeah, it's been great.
Yes, the first week's been pretty good. Pretty good.
It has been really good.
Not much to complain about.
No. One thing I noticed is that because there are so many Jingmaos who had the opportunity and the space to engage with the Zoom classes, that there was this, although it was slower than face-to-face, there was still progression. And when we came back, it wasn't like people had forgotten everything. Yeah. It was actually they not only remembered everything they had prior to the shutdown, or prior to us not being able to operate face-to-face, but they also had learnt more. So there was this slower, but there was a consistent progression. Yeah. And that's really helpful. That was very helpful.
Yeah, and they kind of hit the ground running once they got back to face-to-face. They knew what they, or seemed like it, they knew what they were working on, knew what to ask questions about, and knew what to work towards.
Yes.
And it was just...
And for others, I acknowledge that it didn't work for everybody. Yeah. Because of space, time, particularly those people who rent rooms in houses, so they're sharing accommodation. Those parents with young children, it didn't work at that peak time in the 6 p.m. to get involved in a Zoom class. And then, of course, not everybody has the physical space and lighting outdoors, and it was getting cold at night. And
it was getting dark early.
Dark early and cold. Yeah. So, but they hung in there, and quite a few of you guys did your own personal practice, which was really encouraging. And I think the fact that there were so many others who were setting the energetic level of, yes, there's personal practice, there's private practice going on. Everyone is doing in their own way at home, even if it's watching our on-demand content through our study portal, or whether it was watching other YouTube videos, whether it was practicing with each other. So a couple of our Jingmaos would meet together in the park, maintain the physical distancing, but because it was only 2 of them, that was possible, and supported each other. So I think it was great. Like the amount of positive energy that was expressed in that time was really cool. Yeah,
and what I just remembered, we did an online grading in all that.
Oh, we did too.
Our first online gradings as well. Adults grading and kids gradings.
Yep.
That was cool.
That was very cool.
I just remembered.
Yes. Yeah, we did do a grading. It was very cool. Well done to everybody. Yep. Well done to you for holding the space for those kids all that time, so they could do the grading too.
That was good.
It was very good.
Yeah. Wow. So moving forward, what does it look like this week or next week?
Well, this week we're going to introduce the paired work, and one of the requirements of our accreditation, our national accreditation, is to not use shared equipment. So I think that's a very positive thing. And like I said before, we were all reflecting on how complacent we got. It was just so safe to keep using shared equipment, body pads, hand pads. We'd be dripping wet, sweating, and then we'd
put it on each other.
Yeah, we'd take it off and then just flip the pad around and pass it on to the next person. And after 45 minutes of doing pad work, it didn't matter which side you flipped it to. Yeah, it was all wet and it smelled. And it was like, it's disgusting. Yeah. But we kind of put up with it because it was the
norm.
The norm.
Yeah.
But now, nope, none of that. we'll be providing, well, first of all, we'll sell off any of the second-hand equipment so that Jing mowers can have their own, and also have new equipment available for purchase so that you only wear your own sweat, basically. And when you train with a partner, the person you pair up with at the start of class is going to be the same person. Whenever we go to paired work, will be the same person you're working with. Yeah. And that'll be enforced till September. Yeah. Personal equipment will be from now onwards, but the partnered work, the single partner for the whole training session will be up until September. What else?
Yeah, I think that's pros and cons to that. But I think the pros is that you can really get a connection with your partner throughout the whole lesson, compared to when you chop and change and you just get into the groove with one exercise and then change partners, and then you just get in groove with another exercise and you change partners. I think it would be good to, at least when I'm training one person, the whole lesson you get a vibe, you get a connection, you equally step it up a notch when you both feel like you can hit harder, or you can do more rounds, or you can do more combinations in a limited amount of time and stuff like that.
Agreed. I mean, there's probably a downside to it as well. We'll work it out when the time comes.
You only train one partner?
Yeah, probably. Like if every lesson you train with the same person, then you get to know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you work with those. Therefore, you really don't grow. Yeah. No one's going to challenge you in
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as I guess we're changing partners on a regular basis from lesson to lesson rather than within a lesson.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I can see why the authorities have suggested that we only work with the same partner, because if there happens to be any infection, then we've minimized the contact and the spread.
Yep.
And we can track it. That tracing becomes necessary. So we're going to be making more notes in class. When people pair up, we'll be making note of who they're pairing with and so on, and then keeping that on record for a number of weeks. Actually, we might have to check out how long we have to keep those records on for, and then let them go. Cool. The one thing that I'm sad about, which I'm looking forward to it changing, is parents not being able to stay to be with their kids when they're in class. Yeah. Because it's already happening a little at schools, but now schools are relaxing that, and parents are able to go into schools as well. And I think that's important for the connection and relationship between the parents and the children, particularly with the younger kids. Yeah. Not feeling all that safe about being in a big hall doing playfu without their parents around. So looking forward to that changing, but at the moment that stays through till September, unless we move to phase 4 quicker than expected. Everything moves according to state and federal recommendations. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to that changing, because there is a real community. There is a real community about having the parents watching the kids and then watching other parents doing Tai Chi at the same time as their children are doing playfu. Now there's only people who are training are in the hall. Yeah. There are no spectators.
No spectators. Yeah.
And I think that we're missing something there. But also understand the logic behind it. Yep. And accept that.
Definitely.
So they're the only things that really changed, and what we'll reintroduce. So having your own training equipment, and we'll do partnered work. People will be invited to do partnered work. It's not compulsory. Yep. If some of our Jing mowers are still a little more at risk than others, we'll feel more comfortable still doing solo work. Yeah. So we'll go with that.
Definitely.
Well, it's getting closer. I think it's going to make a big difference doing partnered work.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm just reflecting on what it is right now when we do no partner work. There's more time spent, obviously, on the combinations that everyone does and the drills that everyone does. I think there's something good about that, because when we practice, we're doing repetitions of our own practice. Yeah. I think there's good stuff about going for longer in the same exercise, like combinations, to get into the greater detail that you might not get if you're doing half the amount of time.
No, true, absolutely. There's pros and cons to all of it, really, isn't there? Changing and doing a wider variety of training as opposed to focusing on one or two elements for the whole 90 minutes. The thing I do like too is that there's a call for our Zoom classes. So that some of you have actually asked for us to continue with Zoom classes, and we were just talking about, you and I were just talking about the days and times. So it looks like, bless you,
Miss Guzzi.
We'll be able to choose between Mondays and Wednesdays for
Zooms.
the Zooms. Zoom being the brand of the virtual class, but well, we can do.
It's funny how we do that. Hey, the Zooms.
Yeah, Zooms like.
Or people like doing like the iPhone, whereas
it's a smartphone.
It could be just a Samsung as well.
Yeah, it could be. Did you know that tissues used to be called Kleenex?
Yeah.
And that photocopies were called Xerox.
The brand.
The marketing.
Brand.
Yeah, the marketing's really cool.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, well, it's just marketing.
Yep.
So we'll be able to do face-to-face classes and do the live Zoom classes. There'll be one offered during the day, Wednesday, then Monday night for adults, and then Wednesday afternoon for the kids' playthrough. So we'll have three other classes that people can attend depending on age group and so on.
Yep.
So that means that there's actual classes available Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. That any Jingmo regular member can attend.
And some days are multiple.
Oh, yeah, well, there's multiples on most days.
Yeah.
So there's Monday morning face-to-face and then Monday night Zoom class.
Yep.
Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Wednesday morning. Wednesday day Zoom class. Wednesday afternoon kids Zoom class. Thursday afternoon face-to-face, Thursday evening face-to-face, and then Saturday morning face-to-face. Wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
That's right. That's every day.
But
well,
it's also like
Friday and
spaced
Sunday.
out as well.
It's spaced out. So, so it's five out of 7 days. No classes on Sundays, although that's only because we're recording our content here Sunday mornings. And Fridays, we have face-to-face Tai Chi for Parkinson's class.
Yeah.
And there's face-to-face Parkinson's during the midweek as well. Whew. There's actually a lot of classes.
That's a lot of classes.
That's a lot of classes.
But it doesn't feel like a lot compared to how it was, how the routine was before COVID. Doesn't feel like a lot.
No, it doesn't.
But before COVID, it was not a lot because it was all crunched into one day.
Yeah, all day Tuesday, all day Thursday.
Yeah. But that felt like a lot.
Yeah. And now we're spreading it out.
And it doesn't feel like a lot.
And we're doing extra.
Yeah.
We're doing more than we did before COVID.
Yeah.
Because we're doing Zoom classes as well as every face-to-face class.
Yeah. Wow.
And filming on Sundays.
And filming.
Did we start the filming?
Do we sleep or eat?
I do.
I
eat lots.
Do we live?
Yeah. You're alive, aren't you? For those who are just listening, I'm touching Jhung's shoulder.
Poking me.
Poking
me. Yeah, wow.
It is a lot.
It is a lot.
It's good, isn't it?
It is good.
Well, I think it's good. Some people wouldn't think of that.
It's good.
So, crazy. Why would you teach Kung Fu and Tai Chi for a job? Well, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Yep. Well, with our practice, our daily practice, or with our lifestyle, what has, for the listeners and viewers, if you like, what do you do every day that helps you and that might not be a practicing routine?
What do you mean?
Like, I listen to podcasts or other podcasts, not just the FuReel Podcast.
FuReel.
For other podcasts have the same that I connect to. I listen to music on a drive. Like little things you do that really help you every day. That has turned into a routine apart from practice. But of course, you can talk about your practice as well. But is there anything
that I do
that you do personally, that people don't know Sifu does or likes or
cool? Recently, I've rekindled my love for listening to music whilst I do my practice.
Okay.
So headphones are on, and I listen to Chinese music, Hong Kong music, Cantonese music.
Yeah.
So I listen to pop music, but Hong Kong Cantonese pop music. What I also watch video. I watch YouTube. And the YouTube that I watch is, even though it's specific to our work here, which is filmmaking, or editing or new equipment and stuff like that, I find that really enjoyable. So it's recreational for me. I get to go, oh, wow, there's a new ATEM mini live broadcasting desk, that Blackmagic's brought out.
Okay.
And I watch that. To try to figure out how we can better do what we do to make our workflow simpler and we can produce more in less time or in the same time. And it's more fun.
Yep.
Life's short, really, even if I'm here till, I believe I'll be here till 103. It's still short in this grand scheme of things. So why not have fun whilst you're doing it? And, gosh, I'm going to sound like a real geek here, but I actually watch more martial arts stuff. So on YouTube, there's a few channels that I find. Yeah, thank you.
That's a sound effect.
Yeah,
applauding you.
So it's not actual real people.
No.
Where's our audience? Live audience. Thanks. So I watch Japanese karate stuff, some jiu-jitsu, some sword work. There's a really cool channel that's popped up on my feed that it kind of just goes through how they draw swords and stuff like that. And Kung Fu and Tai Chi, that is directly related to our lineage. So, I don't watch Netflix like Thanks Seeing Lee, for sharing Netflix. We do watch it, but I don't watch it like I do, all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Unless it's something really good. But I find that's really relaxing for me, and I started to pick up books again. So, going to do the book thing.
Read.
Start reading, yeah. It's crazy.
I thought you just kept picking up books. This is good. I'm picking up a book. I'll pick up this book today. I'll pick up that book today. Just to clarify, you read them, right?
I actually read them.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
like colloquial for I'm reading books, right? Picking them up. Because you don't pick up a book for just for the sake of picking it up.
Yeah.
So, reading some books. Nice.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, good. Thanks.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Okay.
What are you up to?
Similar. I'm listening to music and podcasts when I practice. I find it helps when I cover up my ears to get into the zone. So when I'm hearing things, it helps me, zone in compared to when I don't have anything in my ears. I get distracted by all the things, noises, birds, cars, everything.
So you'll be, when you get old and deaf, you'll be really in the zone.
I'll be good at practicing. Really good in the zone. So yeah, I listen to to Tim Ferriss on the podcast. I don't know, I'm just really into his interviews because he's always got someone different on his show. So it's good to hear other professionals' stories and what they go through and stuff like that. So it's interesting, and it gets my mind thinking and the creative juices going and stuff like that. Music, whatever's going on Spotify or a playlist or songs that I've liked or whatever. But generally right now it's just podcasts, because if I play a podcast, it goes for like an hour or 2 hours, and I know I can just leave it. Whereas when I'm listening to music, it's if a song comes on, I don't have to I stop and I change the song, and it interrupts my practice. So I do that. I recently got back into gaming. So play online with friends and Tarrant, Jhung.
So it's video games.
Video games, yes. I like playing video games. I used to play a lot, as you know, with PSP and DS and stuff like that. And then throughout high school and stuff, kind of got off it. And then got back into it now. But I'm finding with our lifestyle, if I put a lot of pressure for my weekend to be my downtime, that doesn't happen, obviously, because Saturday, Sunday, we're doing work half of the day or half of the morning. And then there's a lot of pressure. Well, I feel a lot of pressure to find my own time. So if I can find my own time in different days of the week and not just the weekend, then the pressure is gone. So it's like, all right, this day I'm doing this. You know, we're filming on Sunday until 9:30, 10 in the morning. Go home, have lunch. All right, I'll chill out for a bit, and then I'll wash my clothes, vacuum or whatever. So if I find different times during the week to have my weekend, it's more fun. And saying out loud, it sounds very minor, but for me, it makes a difference.
Oh, of course.
To my sanity. What else? I found this show on Facebook Watch. Yeah, you know, on Facebook you can watch videos.
No.
Oh.
Well,
I know
at
the bottom. There's the market. You can look at things for sale.
Yeah.
And then the next to it is called Watch.
Oh, right. No, I've never seen it.
People post shows and stuff. Like it's a mini YouTube on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. By the like Roadshow can put their movies up or something.
Yeah. Like if we put our Jhung Academy videos on there, it'd come up on that.
Oh, wow.
Sort of thing. So that's another stream. But there is I like shoes. You know, I like shoes. I've always liked shoes. There's a show called Sneaker Hustle, based in New York, and there's this young dude who was like 21 recording at the time, and with his dad and his sister, they run a reselling sneaker business. Reselling?
What do you mean?
Yeah, so they buy shoes.
Oh, yeah, wholesale.
Used or brand new.
Oh, really?
Off people, and people can come in and pawn their shoes so that they get money and they have the shoe.
Wow.
For stock.
Cool.
And he just sells shoes and talks about why he likes shoes and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can do a show all on that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people like shoes. Like, he's selling shoes. Like some of them get this $2,000.
$2,000 for what?
A pair of shoes. Like, let's say a Nike brand, a limited edition shoe that came out, only 100 came out in the world. One pair of shoes going for like $2,000.
Wow.
That's what gets me.
Well, that'll never get me.
Gets my interest.
2,000. Oh, it gets your interest. Yeah, I was about to say.
Right?
Yeah.
How crazy is that? That's
that's nuts.
That's like our MacBooks.
Yeah, $2,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any Jingmos out there?
Like shoes?
Well, I'd been interested to hear what's the most expensive pair of shoes anyone's ever bought.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were talking about how Kung Fu shoes now, post-COVID, freight rate, and it's getting really expensive to get them from China.
Yeah. And
we're saying $65.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's not expensive at
wow.
all.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's cool. That is crazy.
But that's what, that's the main theme for me, is just finding my weekends throughout the week.
Yeah. One of the things I actually had to come to grips with, I can't remember when it was, but it was in this last few couple of weeks maybe, is that I was noticing that when I was calling people who are inquiring about the academy, I got a better response from weekend and evening calls and emails than I did during the day.
Yeah, right.
And I could only put it down to the fact that because we're in an industry that is classified as recreation, most people are working during the day. So I've had to let go of...
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I've had to let go of Saturday and Sunday. I won't be doing any work. It's like, no, I just won't do any work on another day as opposed to...
Yeah, you just shift it.
Shift it to a different day a week.
Exactly.
Which is very, I'd say very Southeast Asian, like all through Southeast Asia. There's 7 days a week, but Sunday doesn't mean anything. It's not a different day. Everyone just trades on Sunday.
Exactly.
They just take days off during the week instead. Whereas I guess being more influenced by the Christian religion, the Sunday had been labelled the day of rest and weekends, like it's the Aussie thing, isn't it? Have a weekend. So I've had to come to grips with that. And funny enough, it's 40 years this year is my anniversary for teaching professionally. That's not just like teaching. This has been my job for 40 years.
Yeah.
And I only just worked it out a couple of weeks ago that I've got to let go of the weekend.
It's crazy.
How's that? Talk about slow on the uptake. Well, it is. So I would have thought I'd worked that out earlier than a couple of weeks ago.
But that makes sense. You say that, we are like more of a recreational pursuit.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense that on the time people aren't stressed or busy, that they think about themselves.
That's it.
Generally, isn't it? Well.
There's a message in that.
Yes.
If you're waiting to when you're not stressed before you think about yourself. Oh, it's true though.
Yes, that's right. All right. So what about our practices? What have we noticed recently?
Well, I've noticed from Saturday's class actually that my yearloos are really fast. And I didn't realize I was getting faster. And part of it is my fitness level, I think, is getting higher. It's just I'm a couple of hundred off 20,000 yearloos now, consecutive yearloos.
Wait. 20,000.
Oh, thank you.
Well done. 20,000.
Thank you. But like and then coupled with the self-enforced isolation, people had less time and space to practice. What it meant was that even though I kept up my practice, I've gotten noticeably faster.
Yeah.
So, and that's really to challenge myself so that I felt like I was working hard enough in my own practice.
So when you don't have space.
When I don't have space, yeah.
When we have limited space.
As in physical space?
Physical space. Yeah. I'm sure I know the answer, but do you then do less numbers wise and do less intention because you can't stretch out as far?
No, I do same number. So regardless, I will do my minimum 20 a day.
Yeah.
And but what I will do is I'll work on specific parts. So I'll run into the wall and I'll like literally get too close and I have to step back or whatever. What it has done it's I've worked out how to back step. So instead of always going forward in clouding hands, for example, I'll do one clouding hands and then two stepping backwards. Or when I'm stepping back, step back 3 times, waving hands, I'll do 5 times, or take extra large steps. So I get right to the other side of the courtyard before I'll do the backward jump.
Yeah.
So it's enabled me to find accents. So I can't do the full form at my full width in my courtyard. But what I can do is do parts of it more intently, more intensely, and keep repeating it. So I end up doing the same part 3 times before I'll move on, because I like to feel that certain parts of my body are activated when I'm doing it.
Yeah. And what led me to that is because in me as well, when I'm practicing in a small space, and I'm sure others are have the same thoughts. It's like, all right, I don't have as much space as I would at the academy. So then we instantly put boundaries up to practice. Right? So we've only got the garage, 1 car garage, for example, not as big as the town hall. So I'll just do 3 of these, and then I'll do squats to make up for the leg work. So I'm just running through that. It's like, well, what is how do we practice but still do the same things without putting boundaries up for ourselves, sort of thing?
Well, being creative is one way, like what you've just mentioned then.
Yeah.
I like to stick with maintaining consistency and only changing one thing or maybe 2 things rather than change a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
And one of the things I don't see useful to me is changing the number of yilus I practice and the intensity after having practiced. So even when I'm really tired and I only have 10% effort, if I put all of my 10% in, I'll feel exhausted, which is good. That's what I like to feel. If I have 100% of effort, I will then put in 70% effort and feel exhausted afterwards. And that's good. But if I say to myself, I have to practice at 100% every single time, I think I'm setting myself up for disappointment, because I'm human. I can't do that every single time.
Yeah.
But I can give the maximum I can give at that moment with consistent boundaries. And that's 100 yilus a week every week. That's my minimum.
Yeah.
So that's number 1 boundary that doesn't change. That's it.
Okay, so boundaries, routine.
Routine.
It's important.
Yep. Well, routine for me is the pull rather than the push. If I set myself the routine, it's like when we wake up, we brush our teeth and wash our face and we get changed, all that sort of stuff. That part of the routine, even getting up at the same time every day, is important for our well-being. But it's the pull. It's not a push anymore. So I don't have to do that. Well, I should do that, and that's another push. I should go to practice. I should do my training at the academy. I should do my daily practice by myself, and all of the shoulds mean that there's someday, one day, and someone from behind is doing that, and we resist that. But if I set a routine, there's no should. There's the routine. I'm doing this every day. This is what I do every day. Well, it's a routine. There's no longer a push. It's a pull, actually.
Yeah. So routine's easier than wake up and go, what should I do today? And make it up on the spot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Very good.
I wonder what the world's going to look like. It's probably too big a question for us here, and we aren't even in the position to influence the world in that way. But
no, mate.
I do wonder. It's like, how are we going to really recover from all of this? Like speaking to other Ging mowers, and they talk about the busyness of the CBD and how few people are going back to work, and that they're going to continue to work from home, and that shops are closed and restaurants are closed and only very few are open. They're packed. They're jam-packed. Well, it's because there's few of them open.
Yeah.
How is all this going to reset itself? Or maybe we have reset and now we're just going from this spot. But it's been a very interesting time. And there's been some industries that haven't been affected at all. As a matter of fact, some industries have gotten busier.
Yeah.
Because they were more needed in this period of time.
Yeah.
And those people working in those industries are just flat out and tired, not because there's been emotional strain, like for others who've had no work. We happened to meet a friend. We met as pallbearers for a mutual friend who passed away. Do you remember Mark, who passed away? Well, we were both pallbearers, and we met at the funeral, and we hadn't seen each other since that day. And it turns out he lives on Michael Street.
What?
We were going for our afternoon walk yesterday, and all of a sudden it's like, I recognise this guy walking down, and he says, haven't we met before? And all of a sudden it's like, hey, that's right, we were both pallbearers at Mark's funeral. Oh. And we were just talking about it, and Doug's his name, and Doug shared it is really tough. Like even right now, it's really tough for him because their family has been impacted negatively by COVID. Work, there's only 3 days work between the two of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Out of 7.
Out of 14. So out of 10 possible working days, yes, so both husband and wife working every day full time, there is only enough work for one of them to work 3 days.
Jeez. So,
and they've got 2 small kids. Actually, their eldest is just a year younger than Isabella.
Mm.
So it's really tough. It's still very tough out there.
Yeah.
Very tough. And just getting by. Like they're not going backwards, but not going forwards. Just getting by.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest hurdle for what I'm hearing people sharing is getting satisfaction out of living. It's like you got job satisfaction. Then there's just, how can I just be satisfied with who I am being right now? There's no work. Constantly at home. There's nowhere to go. There's no money to go anywhere. Our borders are only just opening, and they're not going to be able to afford to go interstate or overseas. There's no work. Like there's no purpose 5 days a week. Yep. Kids are gone to school.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah.
You need money to do home renovations. There's none of that. What do you do?
Yeah.
So, and this is where we're saying on Saturday that daily practice is such an integral part of maintaining our mental and emotional well-being, because it's like cradling ourselves. It's like, what do we do for a small child when we cradle them? Well, we hold them to keep them safe and allow them to be. If they're upset, allow them to be upset. If they're scared, allow them to be scared. Comfort is about holding. It's about safety. And for me, my daily practice is how I hold myself. So life takes off in all sorts of tangents, and we all get surprises all the time. What we need is something that holds us.
Mm.
And that's why I am so adamant about daily practice.
Yeah.
It's the thing that we can do to hold ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like reflecting now. It's like the pandemic has from hearing people share, has reset some things or made them reflect about things, or whatever, their life is taking a turn. But what we constantly share, everyone, is that our daily practicing daily, helps us cradle ourselves, but at least helps me reflect every day to be the best version of me. And I'm not waiting for a pandemic every day for everything to change. It's like I'm trying to be the best every day, make the changes I need to make, be happy with what I've got. All these reflections come from being still. And like people have shared to me when I practice the Tai Chi in front of them, they say like what's the word they used? Like I'm still but in motion.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
You want to find out what that word is?
Yeah, I do.
Sounds
it's on the it's right. I can't. It's right there, but I can't say it for some reason. But what I'm getting at is that our practice helps us every day. I'm trying to find the word for that too, but helps is what I'm going to go with. Helps us every day. And I think part of the reason why I feel so comfortable right now and yes, throughout the pandemic, through the isolation was hard, but what got me past that point and not stuck in that kind of depression and stress and anxiety and what does it look like in the next week and stuff like that is the daily practice. And what I did a lot of was journaling with that as well. So I'd warm up, I'd practice, then I'd sit down, reflect, and leave everything in that book, and just help me clear things for the day, you know. Because I actually remember one time at the start of the pandemic, I was feeling so stressed and anxious about what it all looks like, because we had to do everything from home for that first week or whatever, that I was actually getting like chills in the back of my spine at the bottom. Like I was uncontrollably shaking and stuff.
Really?
I haven't had that ever.
Wow.
But it only came out through my practice. So I was holding it together. Then I said, all right, I'm going to just do some practice because I feel like that. And I started practicing and I started shaking.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I wrote it all down and stuff like that. But
Wow.
like it brought that up for me to go, hey, look, you're actually stressed and anxious right now. Whereas I guess my resiliency helped me hold it as an everyday emotion. So, and it wasn't coming out until I practiced.
Gee, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool. The importance of practice. So, we're getting back to face-to-face. We've got Zoom classes happening again. We've got our online content. We've got our podcast back.
Every day is jam-packed, by the way.
It is. Is it?
For me, it is.
Yeah.
At least.
Doesn't feel like it, like you said.
It doesn't feel jam-packed in that I'm rushing and I'm stressing out and I got no time for this and that. It's just...
It's full.
It's full, but at a good full. Yeah.
Cool.
All
Very
right.
cool.
Okay, so should we wrap up our season 3, episode 1?
Cool. Season 3, episode 1.
Okay, last few minutes. What would we like to share? That's not what I wanted. Just hitting the outro music.
Okay.
Any final words for the listeners there?
Thank you all for your support, and thank you for looking after yourselves during this very crazy time.
Cool. All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for listening or watching this episode of FuReel Podcast. Season 3, here we are. Can't wait to get to like 100 episodes, and what does that look like? But yeah, if you want to check out some more FuReel content on Instagram, that's FuReel Official on Instagram. And I'm going to bust out my Facebook page as well, for FuReel Facebook page soon, so you can check that out. And our YouTube channel, FuReel TV. And of course, all the Jhung Academy socials and stuff like that. You check that out. But until next time, we'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.